back to Lex Reads. So in today's video, I wanted to talk about classic literature. You guys know for the past maybe almost a month now, I've been on this kick of reading classic literature, which is very rare for me because y'all know I read Black literature, just go be honest. But I was inspired to get into like 19th century Victorian type of, literature after watching The Gilded Age for like the second or third time. I started out reading a book that was so shocking, which I'll tell you guys about it. After reading that one book, I said, you know what, let me read something else. Next thing you know it, I'm buying all the books, I'm researching. But I told you guys before, the reason why I wasn't down with classics is because it can be so laborious. And sometimes with like those 19th century or just classic literature in general, they have those long sentences and like they'll have a scene where they're just going on and on and on and you're like, what are you talking about? And you kind of miss it, and the language would be difficult to navigate. And I was just like, I'm not reading this now, because contemporary fiction is like, that's my stuff right there. So what I start doing is researching books that had, I always say, that drama in that tea, and also books that I can easily read and won't get into a reading slump. And I found some good ones that I want to talk to you guys about. Again, they're kind of messy, and look, I don't like mess in my real life, but in my books I do not mind, and these synopses, they much. So let's just get started. So for the first book that I read, just catapulted me into this era, is D.H. Lawrence, Lady Chatterley's Lover. And this is, oh my goodness, because first of all, this book was written in 1920 something. It was banned until the 60s. You couldn't get it. This talks about a woman named Connie. Connie's husband, when they first got married, was fine. He goes into war. He comes back home and he is wounded and he's paralyzed from his waist down. And this is a woman where she's not kept, meaning she wasn't pure. She had done some things before her marriage. So she's like, okay, I'm in this marriage and he can't do anything. Like when it comes to like sexual needs, he can't do anything. And the crazy thing is he's totally fine with that, but she's not. And she explores some other avenues. But I was so shocked with this because, they name like their genitalias. They be having an F word in here. They go in, and the way he like his sex scenes, he was explicit. Now this one be nothing, okay? I was always gasping because I'm like, my goodness, the stuff he says in here. But I have to admit, although it's highly sexual, it didn't come off as vulgar. It honestly didn't. And his writing is unbelievable. He knows how to tell a story, and I didn't get bored with this at all. And because of that, I said, you know what? I want to get some more D.H. Lawrence books. So I went in. I have 4 of his books. So next, I would say I do want to read the Rainbow. And this is a family saga. And then there is a sequel to this, and it is Women in Love. His writing is very liberal, okay? Especially when he writes the women characters. It's not that same, you know what I mean? There's some aspects of it, but he writes them really free. It's not like, oh, I got married, I have a husband, I do everything my husband says. No. And then I have a collection of short stories. You guys know how much I love short stories. And then I have another book that he's known for, which is Sons and Lovers. I am thinking about getting another version of this because I don't like this edition, but I'm like, you know what, it was like $6, so if I do like it, I will get another copy of it. But the font is not that bad. It's not that bad. So, and also how I did navigate a lot of these classic books, I listened to them while I had the physical copy. That did work well for me. All right, so after I read this, I said I wanted something more that was not like that, but again, I wanted something with that drama and tea, and I found this book. It is called Ruth by Elizabeth, is it Gaskell? This, oh my gosh. So you have a young girl named Ruthie. Ruthie is an orphan. She works as a seamstress. That house is horrible. Like they don't get no days off. They poor, they're orphans, right? Her parents died. She meets this young man, Harry. He comes from money and wealth. They start talking a little bit. And the mother and the, like, what do you call it, the owner of the house or whatever, her employer, sees her with him, is like, oh, you're being, this type of way, a loose woman. And she's not. They're literally just talking and walking. With him, he know what he doing. He like kind of a little ladies man. They end up going to a hotel, very uncommon, and it is frowned upon to have a single woman and a single man not married to be in a hotel together. Well, one thing leads to another. She gets pregnant. This man abandons her. Okay? Years later, she has her child, and he comes up again, and you see how it goes. This kind of gave me a little bit of, what's the book? Hester Prynne, y'all know. The Scarlet Letter. It kind of gave me that feeling, but I'm gonna have to say, I think I like this one a little bit better. I just hate that Ruth, she always thought, which again, it goes to the times where she was always in the wrong. They always put it on her. She was like a harlot. And with him, it was like, oh, okay, anyway. But I think what got me is the fact that he literally just left that girl. And the way that he, like, did it, it was like, I don't care what she do, And she was a little innocent 16-year-old girl, had never been with anybody. So, yeah. Also, the way it ended, it was not what you expect. What I really did like about it. It did kind of keep you on your toes. It did have a little bit of parts that was kind of boring, but it was only a little bit. I have to be honest, it was only a little bit, and then it picked right back up. So, but this, so good. So this is Daniel Defoe, Flanders, I believe. And y'all know, as you can see, I have all these Penguin Classic editions. You guys know how much I love the Black Spines. So yes, and all these like basically were used, or I got them on Amazon for like $12 or something like that. But this says, born and abandoned in a prison, Maud Flanders is forced to make her own way in life. She embarks on a career that includes husband hunting, incest, bigamy, prostitution, and pickpocketing until her crimes eventually catch up to her. This was written in 1772. But as y'all can see, y'all hear all of that? That's gonna be a lot. I tend to, when I was doing my research, I tend to pick books where, like, it sounds horrible, but like when the women are like prostitutes or kind of like loose women, that's where a lot of the drama, okay? Because clearly women in those days, when you're doing that, it's like, oh my God. So they tend to have a little bit more oomph when they have those kind of themes. It's horrible to say, but I'm telling you, it will work. Next, I have Sental Education by Gustave, is it Lebert, I believe? I know I'm saying that so wrong because it's French. He wrote Madame Bovary, and I do want to get that. I know Madame Bovary, it's a lot of drama and tea, but Madame Bovary, it kind of gives you a Anna Karenina vibe, but different, but it kind of some similarities. But with this is about a man having an affair, I believe. It says a law student, he returns home from Normandy, slender dark woman, several years older than him. It is the beginning of an infatuation that will last a lifetime. He befriends her husband, an influential businessman, and their paths cross and recross over the years. And he starts to have like an affair with her. But it says, based on his own youthful passions for an older woman, satire to create one of the greatest French novelists of the 19th century. So again, I got a little man having an affair with a woman, and then she's older. That already sounds good. Next, I wanted to read some Edith, was it Wharton? This is called The House of Mirth. This is set in like New York high society, 19th century, of course. You have a young woman named Lily. Lily, she is seeking to get a husband, okay? And like any means necessary. She's also accused of being a wealthy man's mistress. And I do know, I haven't finished it, but I do know, I saw on Goodreads, without any spoilers, they say the ending is not what you expect it to be. It's kind of sad because, again, she's only looking for a husband that has some money, and she is letting people know that, okay? But when they said she's accused of being the mistress of a wealthy man, I'm like, I already know that's gonna be good. Next, I wanted to read some Willa Cather. She is known for this book, My Antonia. And I know it's a woman that, she kind of steps out of society, not the norms, wife, mother, things like that. She does kind of her own thing, and that's looked down upon. I do believe she is married and has some kids, but I don't know if she abandoned them, but I know she steps out of the norm and it's looked down upon. And then this book I want to read, A Lost Lady. This is about a young woman. She ends up befriending and getting together with a young man, and her husband is an older man. He's like 20 some years older than her, but he old and sick. And they have a house that's kind of like a rest house, a boarding house basically, where you have people that stay and all that. And she gonna have a little fling with one of the boarders or whatever. And again, she's married, the man young, so that sounds good. Next, we have another little prostitute type of story by Thomas Hardy. This is, I already know I'm going to butcher this. Tess of the I'm not even going to say that. Y'all see it. Now, they did say, when I was doing my research, they said this is kind of similar to Ruth, but the difference is this woman, Tess, she don't feel bad about her situation, about like being with a man and she's not married. And she like, it is what it is. I don't care. With Ruth, it was like, she felt once she did that, she could never like repent. Okay. She was like, I'm a scarred woman. And I'm a scarred woman. Even the people around her was like, well, I can't get married to you because you weren't kept. And like she had, repented and everything, changed her lifestyle. And they're like, yeah, no, you've been with another man, so I can't be down with you. She don't care at all. And then lastly, I wanted to get just some standard classic literature that, I do want to read. Again, it's a standard classic. So I wanted to get Dickinson. I did some research and a lot of people said if you're starting with Dickinson, you should start with Oliver Twist because Dickinson can be so monotonous and so it can be a bore. And I'm like, okay, a little boy that, runs away with some thieves and some trickery and a world of just, horribleness, okay? That can be kind of interesting. So they did say start off with Oliver Twist. And then, of course, I want to get the Bronte Sisters. I got Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. And then I got Shirley by Charlotte Bronte. So I haven't read any Bronte Sisters. I have Jane Eyre, and I do have the least known Bronte sister, Anne, because I do want to read I get that messed up every time I say it. The Tenant of Wildflower or something. I'll put it up. But that one is really good. I know it's about a young woman. She's married. Her husband is like abusive, and she leaves to go somewhere to a hotel, I believe, or something like that. And a young man starts to like her, but she has a secret. And yeah. But she's like the lesser known of the Bronte sisters. So yeah, guys, that is it when it comes to my classic literature. Again, all these books, they got that drama and that tea. Yeah, guys, that's all I have for you. And I'll be back with more Black books. Bye.